What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 2K subs. We have a very special guest in the house tonight. I said we have a very special guest in the house tonight.
It's me.
If you ever been in the comment section of one of the videos, you probably have seen this young woman right here, huh? Every single video,
Not
even if we discussed it, even if wait, hold on. I'll let you say it. Go ahead.
not every single video. I support though, but not every single video.
It feel like every single video, but my notification every time I open it, it's a couple folks that's always there, and this is one of them. So if you see the most of the video, or the most, especially the talking ones, they're usually there. But anyways, you'll see this person, and they finally decided to step up to the stage because they're like, I've had enough. I can't just sit on the sidelines anymore. I have to participate. I have to get in the game, and for that we say thank you. Everybody, give it up for Anjel Nakole. Angel, hey!
Everyone. Okay, so where do we start? I guess we could
Oh, you
start
already know where we started.
the shocking.
We on here for one reason and one reason only. And if you like, what's the reason? You didn't read the title because it's in the title. Anyways, I'm about to pull it up right now. Let's pull it up. Don Staley on changing Thursday's opponent. Thursday's opponent was UConn, just in case you didn't know. I know our fans always enjoy the UConn game, and our team enjoys the rivalry. Keyword rivalry. But I have always said that our conference season, and especially our goal of another SEC championship, is more central to our program. Winning conference championships mean more than national championships. Let me keep reading. As we approach the second half of the league play next month, it has become important to complete. Oh, hold on now. Hold on, Rashad. Reading is fundamental. Complete our SEC schedule to keep ourselves in the running for a conference title. This Thursday is one of the few dates Ole Miss has open. So, with my team's best interests at heart, I started the conversations that led to this point. So, Angel, first thoughts on this before we get into Gino and I guess Don's official statement if she has another official statement.
Man, my first one was why Gino duck in the smoke? But clearly it wasn't Gino's fault. It has nothing to do with UConn. I just have a couple questions. Like, is conference more important than playing UConn? Like, is it really? But then it's also South Carolina has already played UConn. So it's like, okay, what is beating them twice in one season going to do? And they were higher the first time. Joel, no shade, but we beat them when they were a 2 seed. So now they're lower than a 2 seed. So maybe that was why she thought that too. Like, we beat them at a 2 seed. So now they're what, a 9 or something? So beating a 9 seed, technically she already did that. She beat Oregon when Oregon was 9 or 8 or something like that. But then it's like, now that I read it, last year they didn't win a conference title, like the regular season title. They didn't win it because of that Texas A&M game. So is she thinking, you know what, let's just bump UConn and let's get what we should have got last year? So maybe she wants to get the regular season title and the tournament title because they didn't do that last year. So now that I think about that, maybe that's why she did it. But
Go ahead.
no, you can go.
Well, I was also thinking about, you talk about the conference titles. I think at the end of the day, like when you're thinking about a program like South Carolina that's really trying to build themselves, you know, all those things kind of add up of saying 12 SEC championships, 8 Final Fours,
Of
two
course,
final, and
well,
people want to kind of do that.
11 championships. Someone always wants to throw out a number. So maybe she wants to build her number back up since everyone's saying her numbers, don't correlate, with someone else's. I don't know, maybe. But before Joe says it, a regular season title, a national championship. But
Yeah, no, for sure. In a wide range of things. If you're just looking at, with Pat Summitt, we don't go. Pat Summitt won X amount of SEC titles. We don't go. Gino won X amount of Big East titles. Like no one says that. People say Pat has 8, Gino has 11. People say, Jordan has 6, LeBron has 4. Et cetera, et cetera. You can go down the line. So I don't know though. I don't know. But I think for a program definitely like South Carolina that is trying to build up that kind of historical kind of, we are South Carolina. We are a historical program. Like conference championships matter at this stage of kind of them building it up. So
It
I
could.
don't know. I don't think it's that important though to like cancel UConn. I don't know, but go ahead, Angel.
She's probably going to have to see Ole Miss again. So I believe they play Ole Miss twice this year. So she might be thinking we have to face them in the tournament more likely, anyways. So why not just play them as many times as we can regular season? So then if we do see them in the tournament, we've already seen them twice. We're already prepared. Versus you would beat UConn again. Yes, I said it on Thursday. But that wouldn't be the same team going into the tournament because you don't have AZ, you don't have Age. And now I think what's her name? With the back. I think she's out like indefinitely.
Aubrey Griffin.
Yeah, I think she's not coming back at all.
She's out for the season. Yeah.
So it's like, do you want to see a broken UConn team that you're not going to see again? So it's not going to, like, what is that going to help her? It's not going to help South Carolina because that's not going to be the same team. The only thing would be you would actually get to face, what's her name? Caroline? You actually get
Caroline,
that, like actually play her. But even then, a Caroline without Paige versus
a different Caroline
is too different. So she might be thinking, okay, it's not worth it, which it might not be. Long run, it may be better just to hurry up and face Ole Miss as many times, get the regular season title, face them in the tournament, maybe, depending on how the tournament shakes out, and then just deal with UConn if you have to. Because UConn, they have them projected as like a 3rd seed.
Right now, if they are number 9, probably projected as like a 3rd
so you may not even see them how originally we were supposed to see UConn, because UConn will have to fight through that bracket versus, okay, if UConn's a 1 seed, we'll meet them in the Final Four, whatever. But now if UConn has to fight through a bracket, you may not see them at all again. Versus what was the hype? The whole, storyline coming into the season was, oh, they may face each other 3 times. We might not see another South Carolina UConn matchup for the rest of the year, how things are shaking out. So maybe she's thinking, why worry about UConn, and we may not have to see them no more for the rest of the year.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily, because UConn could still work the way that everybody's losing this season. Like UConn could easily move back up to a top 2 seed or even a top, one of the 4 number 1s. The way everybody's losing, it's like if Tennessee loses to UConn and Tennessee loses, I don't know if they play South Carolina, but if Tennessee loses, same, SEC, I'm tripping.
I think like late February.
Yeah. So there it is. Like if they lose to if they lose to South Carolina and UConn, then they go from number 3 to number 9, number 12. So everybody's losing. Stanford's been losing all season. Maryland's been losing. Arizona's been, so it's been kind of just a rotating chair of who's up top. So UConn can very easily move back into top 2, top.
But that also brings in the notion where being in their conference sucks ass, because
for sure.
Without South Carolina, well, I think this game hurt UConn more than South Carolina, because without them facing South Carolina now, their next ranked opponent, I think their only one, will be Tennessee. So the chances of them moving up in the rankings will be harder because they have no strength of schedule. Like none of that helps them being in the conference, versus if you're in the SEC, at the rate things are, they're facing a ranked opponent at least once or twice a week. So it's easier to move up in the rankings, versus now UConn has to hope that everyone else loses and they move up, which that's when, I don't know, I always think they should move their conference. But I've also learned a school moving their conference has more to do with football than any other sport. So I don't know about UConn's football team. I guess that
They don't have one. It's non-existent. They are a women's basketball school.
Well, then maybe they can move conferences easier.
Yeah, the football team is so terrible. Like they need to abolish UConn football, but
it'd be easier for them to move conference if your only money-making sport is
women's
basketball. I don't know. I think they should move conferences. But I mean, I don't know. They've done it for this long and they've still succeeded. So it's also like, why?
Yeah, well, and that's the reason why you have those tough out of conference games. But like you said, if you have your rough patch, excuse me, before you get into conference play, and like now you're kind of good, you're good to go now. You know, when Paige comes back, if she does come back in February, and you know AZ's coming back in the next week or so, then it's kind of like I don't know, but they'll be all right with I don't know. It's just like you said, it's very tricky when your conference plays wide.
Paul was actually playing pretty good.
Mm.
People were saying that apparently the people on Twitter were saying that whole DePaul postponement was intentional by someone.
Ooh.
Because if they didn't play DePaul without how they were looking, that it was sort of kind of intentional. I don't know. I don't know. That's just what the people on Twitter were saying.
All right.
Angel didn't say that.
I don't know. I don't know when they beat DePaul and every other Big East opponent by 80 every time they face them. But if they truly feel like that, I'll trust the people on Twitter just because UConn just hasn't looked that, unbeatable.
Better now. I will say, as a South Carolina fan, I will say Paige's injury helped UConn a lot more than what people think. Because without that injury, he would have never went into his bench, even though I feel like he needs to go a little bit farther in his bench. Nobody would know that Carolina's a bucket. Like, of course, we knew that before, but were we going to see her this year?
The only freshman that was going to get immense playing time was AZ.
And I'm sorry.
Don't do AZ like that.
I don't think you can who did UConn last play? And they lost. I don't know who they were playing.
When they lost? Oregon.
Who? Oh, no, was it Oregon? It was
last
Oregon.
Loss? Yeah, the last loss was
When
Oregon.
they played Oregon, they put the little on the side of the screen at ESPN saying that without AZ playing, it was like this whole point. The girl played like 27 minutes total. Has she really? Like, I know
she had one good game. She had one good game, though.
Yeah, like one. So how can you project that she would have been great? Would she have probably been great? Yes, but she didn't prove that she was going to be great. So how do you know she was going to be impactful? Because let's be honest, when they play when they play South Carolina, AZ played like 3 minutes. That doesn't sound like impact. I don't know. I'm just saying. I just don't think AZ not playing is she's just hurt. She's a freshman that hasn't played. She hasn't proved herself. So I don't know. I just don't think you can say that her not playing is contributing to their chaotic whatever they got going on over there.
That's fair.
Now you can say Paige, but AZ, you can even say Aubrey.
Yeah, Griff,
but
yeah.
AZ?
Don't get disrespectful with AZ now.
No, we're just saying, has she proved to be that girl yet? In college.
She has not. Right,
so
she has not.
You can't say that things would have changed without her. I'm just saying.
That's an interest. That is a South Carolina take right there. But
okay, let's be clear.
Ahead.
I am a South Carolina fan, but I'm also like unbiased in a lot of things. Like, I can tell you a lot about South Carolina. I love them deeply. But Saya, baby girl. Every year we go through. And you know what? I think Dawn's a little fed up with it because she said in a press conference, she was like, don't we go through this slump every year? Yeah, we do. About the same time every year, too. So maybe it's a seasonal thing. I don't know. She starts out hot and then she gets in this like, and then
Tournament time.
we don't need that right then. We need consistency. So I will point out the faults of South Carolina. Why Bree gets a charge of running into a defender every game, I have no idea. Head first into the defender. What are you doing, Bree? I don't know why V throws that lob pass into the front row of the seats, trying to hit Aaliyah every game. But that's what LA travels 7 times a game. 7. So like, I'm very unbiased. Like, I love South Carolina, but baby girl, we got a couple things that we need to fix that's pretty consistent errors. Turnovers.
Well,
so it's like, I'm very
which is not what Don said. Don was saying that she was like, this week off, you have a chance of a reflection. And the thing I'm reflecting on, she's like, the thing I think about most is the amount of times we turn over the ball. You have good turnovers, you have bad turnovers. Right now, we have bad turnovers.
They're all horrible. Like, they're horrible. Like, I don't know who we play. We had 5 turnovers in the first half. But then the fourth quarter, we had like 23. The hell are y'all doing? Like, I don't know if they get complacent. I honestly, truly don't know if that whole, we have 11 McDonald's All-American, we can start a franchise on this team. I don't know if that gets in their head. I don't know if the one in front of them gets in like, oh, okay, we don't, it doesn't matter. It's just a turn. I don't know if those things get to them. She says they don't, but as a person, like I was in a D1 sport, if I see that one, I just be like, oh, okay. I feel like that's what honestly happened in the Missouri game. I don't care. Mental fatigue, no. They saw that one and they didn't see a Missouri number and they were like, oh, we can come back. We can come back.
Which is why I want to shout out UConn. When UConn won a billion games in a row a few years ago, that was so impressive because it's like to get everybody's best shot. And I just want to make sure people hear this. But when you get everybody's best shot every night, and then like on a Thursday game, in the middle of the week game, out of conference against some no-name school, to still show up and to not have a mental lapse and let a team like Missouri this year, all due respect to Missouri and Sophie Cunningham, even though you know who she is, but all that, to still show up every single night and play and win it's very impressive. It says a lot about them. And so talk about UConn now. When you say UConn's been playing better lately, with Caroline showing up, Liv, although she isn't scoring, she had 3 points against St. John's. She did have 18 rebounds, did have like 10 assists. So she still got a double-double, but only had the 3 points. We're going to need more than 3 points once Paige gets back. But if you can do those other things well, then it is what it is.
A lot more from her. I don't know. Like, she has glimpses of, oh, damn.
She has talent.
Like, that's what makes me mad about her. Like, when she played against, it was us, even when they played, did they play Louisville? Who did they play?
This year? I don't know if they play Louisville.
I know when they play UCLA, she has like these moments when she's a dog on the block. And I'm like, oh, okay. But you only get that for like 2 minutes and then, okay, let me step out. What are you stepping out for? Like
she don't want to bang. She don't want to bang.
That's the thing. If you're not gonna bang on the block, if you ain't gonna bang, then that mid-range needs to be like 98%, like 98%. Because other than that, let's be honest, how are you helping Paige? Because if you're stepping out, okay, you can open something up for Paige. But if that's the only thing you're doing, then you're not, the versatility, it's not giving. It's not giving. That's why I want to commend Joel on this, because I was like, you know what? He got a point. He got a point. He got a point. I think at the beginning of the season, he kept saying like, Aaliyah Edwards, Aaliyah Edwards. And as the season goes on, maybe Joel and Gino ain't on the same page, because Gino's going farther away from Aaliyah. And I'm like, you see how like athletic this girl is? Let's not even talk about her talent, her athleticism. Like, she's way more athletic than Liv. She gives up a little size, but I would rather give up size than her friggin' effort, her athleticism. She can run, like, but it's like he doesn't go to her in moments.
I felt like he trusted her at the beginning of the year based off of how she finished last year. But then at the beginning of the season, she struggled like a lot. And then ever since then, he kind of just like, let me take these keys away from you. I don't trust you.
But I feel like, I don't know, maybe I see something that you don't, but I just feel like it needs to be like a Paige and Aaliyah show, because that would be so good. Like, she can run with Paige. She runs the floor. She's a ball handler. Like, but you want to go with this like Paige Liv, not really, let's just do a Paige. So then who is the go-to? Like, you don't have a reliable post player, and you keep putting your faith in Liv, and she lets you down every time. So I'm just like, you would rather put your faith in Liv than Aaliyah? I don't, maybe it's her size that he just loves, but she don't do nothing with it. She's like a Sedona Prince. Like, and Sedona, baby girl, what is Sedona, like 6'10", 7'2", 7'8"? How is Pow Pow out rebounding you?
Uh-oh.
I don't know Pow Pow. I really do think Pow Pow may have out rebounded her. But it's like, what are you doing down there? Like, what are you doing down there? And that's like, and I think what's her name? Lobo put like them like the centers. No, you need to take them centers out.
Prince. What do you think about that? What do you think about that 60 piece?
Okay, I will say, I'm gonna give her shine, because it wasn't even the 60. She was like 20 of like 26 or something.
Yeah, she took like 30 shots.
And I'm like, the efficiency. I don't care. People want to say, okay, well, if you can't make it from him from the block. Okay. No, but still.
Everyone, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Exactly. And people tried to take away her shine, like, okay, they were just playing Oklahoma. That's my dishwasher, if y'all can hear that. I don't care if they were just playing Oklahoma. Like, no, okay, then why didn't other people playing Oklahoma get 60 points?
They were ranked. It wasn't St. John's. All due respect to St. John's.
And I think she was getting double teamed, and then
triple teamed.
And people that were watching, if anybody watched it, their coach got to the point where he was like, well, if I get the ball to her before the double team comes, or the triple, and that's what they started doing. So for a while, she wasn't getting double teamed, because if that's your first pass and you 3 seconds into the shot clock, you don't have to worry about that. So I will commend her coach on keep going to her.
Who would you call, I guess, like your top 4 centers right now?
Well, little did I know. I don't know if you saw Lobo's piece, but there's a lot of people that aren't centers. And I was like, oh, well, okay. Aaliyah Boston isn't considered a center.
So that's what they're doing.
I was at a loss of words, and it was even like a little chatter on Twitter a little bit, like, how could they leave Aaliyah off? And somebody was like, no, you need to go look at people, what they classify these people as. Aaliyah's not classified as a center. So I think on Lobo's piece of centers of the world, it was Lee, it was Kunane, it was a couple people that wouldn't even be in your top 5. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, when Peck be calling the game, she be saying Aaliyah a center. So Auntie Peck says she a center, so she a center. I don't care what you classify her as. But mine, of course we're gonna say Aaliyah. We're gonna say Aaliyah.
Yeah.
I can't put Kunane in it. I'm sorry.
Mm.
She was getting mixed by Cochran.
Mm.
And I just, how you getting mixed by Cochran?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even consider her a center. I'm sorry.
Who, Kunane? Oh, are you talking about Cochran? Okay.
No, I don't consider Kunane a center.
Oh.
You gonna put Kunane classified as a center over Aaliyah?
No. I mean, if we're talking about just front court people who I would consider at the 5, like forget who's technically a 5 and they're the, all the stuff that Lobo was trying to do. I'm thinking about folks who I know start at the 5 and play most time at the 5 just because of the roster construction.
Aaliyah. I'll put Austin in there.
Got to.
I'll put Nalissa in there.
Okay. So you got Nalissa as a 5. I know you were saying that.
I have her as a 5.
We talked about
college
that.
5.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I will say when she goes in the WNBA, she won't be a 5. She may not.
I don't want Nalissa on the dream. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't even think she's gonna be a 4. Because she's still undersized. What is Nalissa like? 6'2"?
No,
6'3"? She's not that tall.
Hold on, how tall?
NBA tall. Like
Nalissa kind of. She's only 6'2".
Exactly. Now,
but that's what we were talking about, and you said, "Nah, she could play the 4." That's what you said. So ever since then, I opened my mind up a little more. I watched her. She play on the block most of the time. I'm like, okay, maybe she is a 4. Maybe I was tripping.
4.
Okay.
College 4 or 5. Okay, you can even put Nalissa straight college. Well, I don't even think she played just the 5. I mean, you could say last year because Queen couldn't stay on the floor, so she had to be a 5. So
I look at her as a 4, but I mean, if you want to put her as a 5, I got you.
I don't
she spends a lot of time.
I think you can like push her out. I think going into WNBA, I think she's going to be a 3-4, depending on what team she's on. She may stretch out because she can't stretch. So she may play the 3 a little bit.
She's probably going to Indiana, by the way. Indiana's number 2.
We're not going to talk about
that. Yeah, so by this rate, she will be cut by the time we record next year. At this time, she will be off the team at that point.
You really think you see Indiana?
Indiana, yeah, she's going number 2 because Ryan's going number 1.
Let's stop.
Washington.
Slightly moved over. We're gonna get back, put a pin in that. So it looks like Courtney's going back to Connecticut. And now still beef because Miss Mama's tweeted. She said one sleeve said, basically implying, "Oh, baby girl, I didn't want you to sign another 1-year deal. I wanted to go."
Oh my gosh! I was about, you know that rant. I've been trying to hold the rant video.
I was like,
I will let you. Okay, so what Angel is referring to, Kennedy tweeted and deleted a shot at Tiffany Hayes. Tiffany Hayes has re-signed with the Atlanta Dream reportedly for 1 year. Shout out to Christina Williams at Girl Talk Sports TV for reporting that. And yeah, Tiffany Hayes is coming back. Back a few months ago when there was a whole big blush thing with the Dream, or one of their many blush things of 2021. Kenny said, I need to go somewhere with class, somewhere where they care about you, somewhere where they want to win, somewhere where they value your time. A few hours later, Tiffany Hayes comes back, somewhere where you're not crazy, somewhere where we don't have to baby you or babysit you. Tiffany Hayes deleted her tweet. I believe Kennedy deleted her tweet as well. So today, Kennedy tweets after Tiffany Hayes resigns, "Oh, I really wanted to go against you this season. I ain't forget them Twitter fingers." Why would you Renee, what are you doing? Renee, what are we doing here? Go ahead.
I don't want to be in the narrative of babying her. But for one, who is your franchise player? Clearly, it's not Tiffany because you just signed her to 1 year to 1 year. So if it is Kennedy, why didn't you go to her, not asking for approval because you don't need approval, but just for your team dynamic, just say, okay, if we do re-sign her, can you work through it? Do we need to bring y'all in? Do we need to, what is it? Can we keep it work? And can we keep it off Twitter? Clearly that conversation wasn't had. And I feel like that's a front office problem. If you could be on ESPN yelling and screaming and doing all that, Renee, you could have been the person that you were supposed to be and try to create a good, because what is this? God dang, January?
2021 was too messy for you guys to move into 2022, hire a new GM, hire a new coach, and have the same problems we had last year. I made 20 roast videos about your franchise. You would think by number 20, you'd be like, this isn't good publicity for us. We should probably stop. We should probably wipe the slate king. When you got rid of Courtney Williams and said the other girl who had nothing to do with the fight, she was just there, just defending her teammate, and she got cut too, Bradford, not Chris Bradford. No, I don't want no Chris Bradford. I'm thinking about the Chris Bradford. Okay, Chris Bradford. When both of them, when you wipe the slate clean. Ain't nobody signed, ain't nobody under contract except for Kennedy, Ari, and who else? And Cheyenne Parker.
Yeah,
that's it. Wipe the slate clean. What are we doing right now? You signing this saying, whoo, I'm like, it's like y'all doing the same thing and expecting to see different results. Now, when they fight in the locker room and it come out on Twitter and it become a big story in June, don't come running back to us when we call y'all out for doing the same thing that we warned y'all about 6 months ago in January. Why did they do that?
I think it was because somebody said this too. Somebody said it's hard to be a businesswoman and your player's friend, which I get it. It's hard when a player moves from being a player, being on the team, to now you're making decisions. Well, it doesn't seem like, because I'm not going to imply like I know what's going on over there. It doesn't seem like she stepped out of that role of we were teammates and now I'm basically your boss. Because if you did, your concern wouldn't have been, I don't know, re-signing your friend. I don't.
Keeping
it would have been trying to create, because what did they say? We're going to change,
the culture.
It's not changing. It's starting off very messy. It's giving mess.
She also has signed, I think, the first 3 players or 3 of the first 4 because, you got Nia Coffey who didn't go, but they're all Huskies. You do what you want with that information. But it's Tia Stokes. It was what's the girl name from Megan Walker? And Tiffany
and they just signed Megan, and I'm like,
yeah.
Did you need another guard? I thought we got away from signing all because is Parker gonna play?
Yeah, Parker. Well, I mean, she just had the baby, so she had the baby over Christmas. So I would think 6 months. You got 6 months to get in shape. I would think so.
I will say, I don't think that's enough time. Kiki playing right now. Shout out to Kiki. You can definitely see Kiki is tired. And they scrimmage today and yesterday. I will say she a bucket still. But you could see when she was running up and down the floor, she was tired. And she only ran up and down the floor probably about 4 or 5 times. And she was like, oh shit, God. I don't know if because you got to think about it. You have to be in shape before the season. Yeah. So if she's still getting in shape during the season, how much of a impact is that going to be?
Can't babe.
She was,
but the Skylar Diggins, she had her kid and she sat out that next year, even after she had the kid in the offseason. So
I think everyone did. And I think Candace Parker sat out. I think Lisa Leslie sat out. Like, I will say, as a woman, coming back from no baby ain't no joke. Like, your whole body be like, I don't think she's gonna be ready. I'm sorry. And that's just coming from a woman. Now you finally, got a different gender on here. I don't think it's, I don't know. She, was she even let me not say that for somebody screen record this. She was very good when she was playing for the Atlanta.
Okay, I got you. I will say it. I'll say it. She wasn't necessarily that impactful last season as she has been in previous years with Chicago and stuff like that. And one of the things she said was, I don't think we'll ever get the full Cheyenne Parker. And she like smiled. I was like, why would you say that? And then it came out a couple weeks later, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah.
Did she mean like ever? Or?
No, she said this season, like, because she was struggling during the season. And then someone asked her, they were like, do you think you'll be able to turn it? Something like that. And then she was like, I don't think we'll ever see the full Cheyenne Parker this season. And then she kind of like grinned or something like that. And
I don't think it's a bear of bad news, but ma'am, do you think coming back is
after a season of working out?
Good luck to her and with all her guards on Atlanta, because I think they just signed Monique too. So it's like Monique.
They signed Monique?
I think, or they were trying to.
Monique was one of the 3 teams. It was
no. Monique's going to New York. I lied. She's like going to New York. I don't know if they were talking about it.
She was talking to Seattle, Indiana, and I'm looking at it right now.
I think she was talking to New York too.
Yeah. I thought she was talking to New York. I said that on another video. Yeah, New York.
So you lose her. You don't have any 4s or 5s at all. Like, no.
You don't.
So who are you?
Unless you bring back E. And I'm like, bro, I wouldn't. All due respect to E. Appreciate all you did for the franchise. Same thing with Tiffany Hayes. I was ready to move on from both of them. I mean, it won't. You got the same thing since 2012. Oh yeah. Shout out to Mark.
He's
over there, dude.
But I think their best bet is going to be, thinking of the upcoming people, which girl from Florida Gulf Coast, she finna shake up everyone's mock drafts, because I'm sorry, if she don't go top 10, she's a bucket.
Yeah, Ohio State.
I remember her like from the McDonald's All-American game, and I was like, someone kept saying she was like a McDonald's All-American. She just don't look how she looked.
Yeah. She was like in high school. She was like LeBron, like the female LeBron. They dubbed her as, and LeBron went to her game, and she was Miss Ohio basketball and stuff.
So I think she'll shake it up. But I think for the culture of what I think Atlanta is, I think Austin will fit best. She has that scrappiness. She has like that, talk a little something.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, all due respect to Ashley Jones, but look at how the city doing Matt Ryan. All due respect to Ashley Jones.
Talking about Ashley Jones, she didn't play. So I think she would not go well with Atlanta, but just because of the narrative of why she didn't play, and she wasn't vaccinated, I think.
So Sophie Cunningham Jr.
I don't think she would bowl.
Yeah, that ain't rolling in there.
I don't think, in the way her dad was typing on Facebook.
Unless you play for the Braves, but like we said, going here, we got Gino's statement right here, and Gino said, Don Staley reached out to me about postponing the series for this season. It's a priority for South Carolina to make up SEC games. So this is the best. What is this? What is this right now? What is going on? I don't like these quotes at all. So this is the best decision for them right now. We know a lot of fans were excited for this game. We watched Rashad's channel. They were yelling back and forth all summer. But we look forward to continuing this series with South
I mean, we
Carolina.
already had the game, so it just would have been a second one.
I think yeah. But they gotta act like they're not gonna.
I mean, just
more than likely face each other in the
it
tournament.
should be his priority to make up his 3 conference games that he ducked too. So at least she making up her games. Because I don't know, somebody said apparently everybody else in the conference has rescheduled their games except UConn.
Did South Carolina miss a game? A conference game?
Ole Miss was positive, so we played.
Oh.
That Kentucky game, I don't think that Kentucky game was supposed to be that was supposed to be Ole Miss.
Okay.
So they
okay. That makes sense. Okay. See, that's why we have a South Carolina, because I was talking to some folks before and they didn't know what was going on. So
no, I think we were supposed to play them January 2nd, because that was a whole big game because of what Austin posted on TikTok last year.
What she posted on TikTok last year?
So I don't know if you're on TikTok, but it was like this whole little era of basically you would post you blocking someone's shot or breaking the ankles or something. So you would have to post the person's basically, the little picture they take at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
So she did it on Bree. South Carolina fans, something like that. I think she blocked Bree's shot or something, which everyone did it. Ryan did hers on Sarah, Hannah, Ashley, Rebecca, Parker, whatever. She did hers on her. So everybody was doing it. But you know how some people get a little sensitive and they was like, why did you pick Bree? And da-da-da-da. So everybody wanted that matchup but my thing is Bree wouldn't have been guarding her anyways. I mean, she could have got switched on her, but
Kira's not one of them, man.
She was having fun on TikTok. So
she's not one of them. I just want people to know that too. She's one of the best in the country.
Who, Bree?
Nah, Kira.
I will say I like the game today. I like her a little bit.
She's
not more
nice.
than Ryan, but
Question: do you think an HBCU player gets drafted this year?
No. I
think Amisha, Holiday, Williams.
Okay.
I was trying to think.
There's a difference between drafted and making a roster. You can draft anybody.
Drafted.
Clearly,
I mean, but it's still only 3 rounds.
Well, someone might get drafted. We'll give a little hope. Will they actually play?
Probably not. But that's only because of the 144. That isn't because of their abilities. But go ahead.
Because I will say, Dawn, shouted out the quadruple double queen, and she's still not in the league.
Yeah.
And she took a little hiatus. She took a little hiatus. She's back now. She just left today. I don't know where she went. I know she went overseas. I don't know where. So
we were trying to get her on the channel.
She sort of acts like Kennedy, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, she goes. But it's all good. She wasn't the only one. I don't want to drop. I don't like to drop names on here. They'll come as they come. They're a little more receptive now that they got a new league. But back then, they were kind of I don't know. It's a lot of stuff that I got that I'll probably let off at eventually some point on the channel.
I mean, I want to see out of every HBCU player that I know, I really want to see Shakila in the league because she's a bucket. This is a bucket. She deserved a lot more than what she got.
Well, she got she was hot for a month. I think that's
But that's the thing. She was always hot.
Yeah.
Everyone played, every big D1 played, the little pew teams, at the beginning of the season. She was getting buckets. I think we played Oklahoma at one point. We played Alabama. She was still getting hers. Like she was,
That's what I'm saying about Amisha. Amisha over there at Jackson State, going against Shakira Austin, going against Arkansas. She put up like 18 and 18, like 20 and 10. And she already told me those are the games that she has to, because she knows those are the games that the scouts and stuff are looking at. So started off at Mississippi State, SEC. You know what I'm saying? Left not because of talent or playing time, but because she got homesick, and I don't know. She's just shown she's a good player and has improved her conditioning every single year. She came back and went to Jackson State the past 3 seasons. So I think she should get a shot. Definitely with her size as well. She's 6'4". So
I think somebody else, what was that girl? She left, she was at Tennessee.
Zay Green.
Yeah, she's at
Yeah.
Arkansas Pine Bluff.
She was a McDonald's All-American with Shakira.
I mean, Arkansas Pine Bluff before, I don't know how long you've been on the HBCU circuit, but probably Shakaila's junior year, Joyce Kennerson was playing. And I think at that point, she ended up stopped playing in the middle of SWAC. Like, it was like first game. She didn't play, and everyone was like, "Where's Joyce at? Where's Joyce at?" Because I think at that point she was like, she was leading the leaderboards and scoring for everyone. She was pregnant, so she didn't play in the SWAC tournament. She was like the SWAC player of the year. Like, she was a bucket. Like, people were like, "She going to the league. She going to the league." But she got pregnant, and at that time she was at TSU. So she left. She took some time off, and she's back this year. But last year she tore her ACL. So
What's her name?
Joyce Kennerson. She was a bucket. Like, she was a bucket, but between the baby, tearing her ACL, she's not the same Joyce. She's still be getting buckets at.
How you spell her name?
Kennerson.
Oh, okay, Kennerson. Got you.
But she was like, when I tell you the beef between her and Shakila, when she was at TSU, like, it was big. Like, it was beef. Like, people were mad because Joyce had got player of the year and Shakila didn't. And it was like, okay, this is gonna be something. And then when we went to the SWAC tournament, we was like, okay, they're gonna go head to head. Like, this is gonna be a good tournament. First game out, no Joyce. We was like, where's Joyce? And then, of course, after the tournament is when everyone found out she wasn't playing because she was with child, which I'm just like, dang.
Yeah, that happens a couple times, and
like, to be groovy.
Unfortunately, in the HBCU circuit.
I don't know. I feel like you have a whole year to get groovy, and in the middle of the season, like,
so use that for the ACL year.
Like, and I think before she tore her ACL, I think she was still doing pretty good. But I want to see her get back to the person that she was. But I think Zay Green sort of took a little bit of her, I guess, limelight. Not really. And I think they have like this other big on their team.
Yeah, but Zay, she not even putting up like points like that. Like I've been kind of following, and it's like, yeah, I'm like, oh, that's Zay right there, but like she not even, what I'm saying?
A bucket at Tennessee.
She was at A&M too. I forgot why she left Tennessee. I don't know if it was because fighting or she just left there.
Like, I know y'all lost like 2 good post players, but what? Like, you gonna let this man go out like this for his last year?
Who you talking about, A&M?
Yeah, I think they just.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who they play. Oh, Missouri. Today they just lost to Missouri. Like, you just lost 2 bigs.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong. Everybody else in the SEC is doing pretty good though.
I wonder why Hill is on this list of shout out to HBCU sports. Shout out to my boy Rashad, the other Rashad. Shakila Hill. I was kind of confused why she's on this list, because it looks like, I thought it was, people who are in HBCUs like right now.
Maybe because she's going back.
Or yeah, I guess COVID year. Hill is too great of an all-around player to not have received a shot in the WNBA. So they're saying exactly what you're saying.
Maybe he's just saying recent players that probably still have a chance.
Yeah, that still should get in. Shout out to everybody on this list. As you see, Amisha is right here. But yeah. Okay. We got all the way up. What'd you say?
I said, did she even really play at Mississippi State?
She was a freshman, so she didn't really play, but she played in like the Final Four. So I feel like if you at least got on the floor in the Final Four, you played enough. But she wasn't like, getting time over McCowan or Victoria Vivens or anything like that. Oh man. But yeah.
She's the reigning defensive player of the year. I gotta get back on that HBCU. And first of all, just so y'all know, I'm not really a basketball head. I'm a track head. I will talk y'all down in track. But I need to get back on knowing the top all-around talent at HBCUs. Because we got
Amisha's the best right now. She's the best.
Because I feel like HBCUs have a lot of hidden talent, even though now, like, woohoo, Dion is doing something that the Grambling State already did, but, getting big talent. We did that like 3 years ago. Sir, you're a little late.
Shout out Cynthia Cooper. Shout out Cynthia Cooper.
There either. I don't.
But you gotta like.
Daughter, does she play?
Yeah. I was literally just thinking about her the other night because I went to see the LSU commit, and Shaq's daughter came from LSU to go there. So I don't know. I don't hear anything about her or her son or his son.
He don't play because I sometimes watch the men's game.
He's a freshman though.
Oh, I'm talking about the other one.
Are you talking about boy at LSU?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He doesn't play.
He be wearing ties and stuff. So I thought he was done with his heart.
His heart thing, yeah. He was done with the heart thing at UCLA. Didn't play, so he transferred to LSU. And I thought he would play because he transferred. Heart was good. And he still didn't. So, it's tough. It's tough to make the NBA. It's tough to play D1.
That sucks.
It is what it is, man. I mean, but I hope Bronny makes it. It's not looking so good for him, but I hope he makes it.
Why you think that?
If he's a junior, usually when these kids, sophomore year of high school, you look at them and you're like, oh yeah, that kid stands out. Junior year, if it hasn't happened for you yet, granted, he's on like the best high school team in the country. So it's a bit different when you have all those people, but if you don't have it by now, you're kind of looking like, I don't know.
You think he's going to be like Zaire?
No, he's better than him. All due respect to him.
That route of, I don't know. I will say, I think he thought out of all the NBA players' sons, I think he thought his dad's name would carry him a lot farther than what it did.
He looked just like him.
His talent didn't compare to where he wanted to go, which I've learned because look, I went to HBCU. I learned the whole glitz and glam and having, your fingerprint that's how you got to get into the building and have plasma screens. Like, that doesn't mean that the school's great. Like, you can go to a lower level school, I guess, and work your way up to that, or you can just shine at a lower level school. Like, what's that guy's name? Ja. He went to friend Murray.
Murray State.
So it's like, in what, he's in the conversation for MVP. Like, he didn't take that route of going to a big D1. Like, sometimes all the glitz and glam isn't what it is. It's really not.
Speak on it.
Like, I went to a small school.
I was about to say, don't do Grambling like that. Don't laugh before you say I went to. Don't do that.
It was small. Like, y'all, it was bad. If anybody didn't hear about the Grambling State boycott of why we didn't play Jackson State one day, and the football players said, we not getting on the bus.
I remember that.
We have mold in our locker room. Like, and I ran track. Our track probably had, out of the 8, maybe 3 usable lanes. But who's the winningest team in track? Graham. So it's like sometimes you don't need.
Speak on it. But also, I think that is why you have to commend, you know, and I wasn't even trying to talk about this on here, but Mr. Coach Prime himself or whatever, because the fact that he did get in, and like one of the first things he does like within a year is get the new turf practice field, a new track, new weight room, renovated office, renovated football facilities, training tables, stuff like that. You know, to get all of that stuff within the first couple of years, it's huge. And it's the reason why he was able to get Travis Hunter. It's the reason why he was able to get the other guy, the Kevin Coleman, and et cetera, et cetera. They're going to keep getting guys because of all of those things, combined with the fact that he's famous.
I will put though. You got to put some respect on Jackson State's name, because I can tell you right now, Deion is not the reason why Jackson State sells out games.
Oh, no. We know that. I mean, I know that. But
like,
yeah,
I think like they came out with, I think the SWAT game, they like panned the crowd and they were like, oh my God, the stadium's full.
Yeah, one dude took a picture. Salute to my guy, the beat reporter now, Kari Thompson. He took a picture of it. He's like, this is what it looks like if we supported HBCUs. And like, I liked it because it went viral, but you know, everybody said it. We've been doing this. 2006, 2011, like against Alcorn, that Soul Bowl is the hugest thing in the state of Mississippi. It's even larger than the Egg Bowl, which is, you know, Mississippi State Ole Miss, for those of you who don't know. But yeah, that stuff is and they led the FCS with a terrible record in attendance the past couple seasons before there was ever Deion Sanders there. So,
and I tell people all the time, y'all just getting the ticket count, because you can go outside an HBCU game and it's like wicked crazy. Like, I came from a predominantly Caucasian background upbringing. I didn't even know what an HBCU was until one started recruiting me. And I was like, a Black school, huh? The first game I went to, I'm walking to the stadium. You want some ribs? You want turkey leg? You want a plate? And I'm just walking to the stadium. And more people are outside the stadiums than inside the stadium. That's why I will say, I'm really glad I went to HBCU. Culture is way different. Like, way different. You got to go to one to understand.
I wish I could have gone. Like, I really wanted to go to Morehouse. You know, accepting everything.
No, what? You gotta go to a
world. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be like, you gotta go to Stillman. You gotta go in the crooks and you gotta go where you try to open the door and they go, the doors don't open at Morehouse. All due respect to Morehouse, the doors don't open at Morehouse too.
But like I feel like you only get like the educational HBCU experience. Because even though we're not really into that, I'm sorry, when you're Black and you get taught by a Black professor, it's a lot different. It's a lot different.
Yeah.
You get that aspect of an HBCU.
So salute to Georgia State, where I did go. And I did take my African-American studies classes from Black professors. And I feel like I got even more than someone who might have gone to an HBCU but didn't take any African-American studies classes.
It's different. Like,
and Georgia State graduates the most Black kids in all undergraduate programs in America, by the way.
When you have a little Blackness in your degree, it's a little different. When you're Black and you have more Blackness in your degree, not meaning the school, the institution, but like the people that poured into you, when they look like you, when they've been in the seat that you were in, it's a little different. You can maneuver through spaces different. You know how to move through spaces different. So it's just a little different. Even though, you know, that's a little off. That's just a little pin for y'all watching.
It's the thing that annoys me, and I'll leave it at this, is like when people really don't know. Like, I was watching an interview with Travis Hunter, and the dude was like, yeah, have you ever heard of a guy named Doug Williams, the first quarterback to play in the Super? And then, you know, the kid was looking like, yeah, I knew who Doug Williams was before I committed to Jackson State. He's like, yeah, he went to Grambling. He could sling it. And it's like, bro, like, y'all really don't know nothing. Like,
and he's like the only one.
Yeah, but it was people like when Hunter first committed, and they were just like, yeah, at least we didn't lose our top recruit to so and so community college, and I'm like, you guys are so in the dark. Like, but it's not for them. It's not for them. I just
A
have to be
lot.
honest.
That's like the interview with I don't know what little, I don't want to call it a podcast. Everybody got podcasts now. Podcast era. But whatever Ocho Cinco, whatever he was on, whatever Chad
I
was on.
am athlete.
And I was just like, yeah. Cause mind you, his daughter goes to PV. He be at PV like he's just another student. Literally will walk through and be like, hey, be on Twitter and be like, hey, can someone meet me at the calf? And I was like, is he serious? And they literally go to the calf and eat with Chad. So, and he was trying to explain to them, like, what's the difference for going to HBCU and going to Alabama?
He's a really nice guy, by the way.
He's
Like,
very down to earth.
he
I
like
didn't
one time I was in this thing at a game for the Flag Football Association, and he like just walks in the room. He's just like so casual, and then he's just like talking to us and talking smack about the game, and it was just kind of weird because it's like, bro, like you Ocho Cinco. But anyways, yeah, he's a good guy. But yeah, he did that with fam too down there in Florida, because he's over there in Florida. He's all on the field in the fam gear and sunglasses and everything, and he puts on for HBCUs like almost as much as Chris Paul.
I mean, I feel like we need that era back of when celebrities, they weren't wearing an Alabama shirt or a Georgia shirt.
Drake.
No, they was wearing G's and they was wearing Howard stuff. We need to go back to that. I mean, everyone can shine. A PWI can shine and a HBCU can shine. But I just feel like we've gone so far away of thinking HBCUs are somehow
Listen.
lesser than. And it's like, no, my degree is not lesser than yours. My talent's not lesser than yours.
Speak on it.
Like it's no less. It's just like people like to say, well, it's just a school. Okay, yeah, it's just a school. So if it's just a school, why does it matter that the number one? Oh, and we could talk about this too. How somebody said, when you commit to UConn, your rankings change. Okay, so why when this boy committed to Jackson State, all of a sudden he wasn't number one anymore?
Yeah.
It was, oh no, he's the number two.
No, we know what that's about.
But before he committed, he was number one. But now that he committed, he's not number one no more. And it was this discrepancy in what he is. So it's just like, maybe Muffet was telling the truth. Maybe.
No, that's politics. That's how the game goes. Like doing high school for a little minute, you see like the kids, if a kid is like just all right, and like his biggest offers like UGA or something like that, and he commits to the biggest offer he got, then he moves up in that rankings because the UGA coach don't want to look bad. You know what I mean? They call up these services and they get what they need to get done. It's all politics at the end of the day. A little bit of it, a lot of it is talent, but a lot of it is politics as well. Go ahead.
I don't see how that helps you. Like they've already committed. I mean, I guess it can help.
Well, no, it helps with the recruiting class rankings.
But it's like, I've gotten to the point of, even like with how the state of women's basketball is right now, I don't think it matters if you have the number one recruiting class, the number two, the number three, because girls is hooping, like regardless.
Yeah, but I think it does still matter, like, because you compare it to football. So like UGA was always getting number one, but they will always come up short in the postseason. And then eventually they knocked through that door and they came in, and I think it's because they had the number one. You keep getting number one, eventually you're going to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know girls is hooping, right? Like everybody hooping now. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like Ioka Lee, we was not talking, like some people were talking about her. I seen her on the mock drafts. I knew who she was because I was watching Kansas State a couple times last year for Christina Carr. So like, but still, like, I didn't see this Joker dropping 61. I didn't see Nia Clouden getting 50. I didn't see, you got Nas, you got, everybody. You got Berger from Indiana. You got everybody hooping all over the country. It's ridiculous right now.
But I mean, I don't even think Ryan was talked about coming out of high school.
Yeah, Ryan was like 30, 35. Like Flajay right now is like 25, 26. But I saw her and I know what she's gonna do for Kim Mulkey. She's gonna be it.
You think she really fits in the Kim Mulkey system?
Well, I know what I saw on Friday, and I know whatever the heck Kim gonna
I'm
do,
just
she
saying,
gonna figure it out.
Kim's whole system was like bigs, which
Right.
I've said this. How Kim was playing in the SEC, I mean, in the Big 12, she can't play like that in the SEC because I feel like when she was in the Big 12, people recruited around her recruitment. So because she had bigs, it's like, okay, well, we gonna need a big because she got the bigs. Well, now she's coming into a conference where everybody's system's already established. So nobody's going to
Adjust
she
to
has to
everything.
adjust to everyone else. So she has to adjust to Aaliyah. Stady's gonna be out after this year. I think is Asia coming back at Blackwell? And then Ryan's gonna be out. But even then, she's gonna have to adjust to the system that the SEC has created, which I wouldn't say it's a big, heavy system, but the system that she was doing where they weren't shooting any threes, and now you're going up against an Alabama team where they're pretty good at shooting threes. So it's like, I think she's still gonna recruit her bigs. That's just her. I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit, I don't know. A little girl recruiting bigs, I feel like that's a little bit of like, I don't know, short man syndrome going on. Cause like,
let me take the
like
thing mask off.
Like she's like 5'2", and it's like her system is like bigs. But I feel like she might be changing her system. Cause has she signed a big?
I mean, not a top big that I know of.
Because I'm sorry, the bigs that she has now.
Because even who she was gonna bring over was like Moon, right? Like
no, she brought the big that she brought from Baylor.
Who?
Hannah Gusters.
Well, it won't know. Yeah, if it ain't no queen, if it ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that she needed to bring, like.
Right.
Well, I guess I feel like Nalissa didn't leave because Nalissa was probably like, "Well, I'm done. Like I'm already
just one more year."
Yeah, I already secured my future, so I could see why she didn't leave. But like the big that she brought, yeah.
Well, if you can, convince Queen, because Queen is like, Queen, like you said, Queen and Alyssa, those are the only kind of, you don't want to say things, but I guess, relevant, pieces there on the
I feel like she could have, well, maybe she couldn't, because the big that she convinced to come, you could have left her with Nikki Collins. She could have left her in Waco because she doesn't, her versatility matched with other bigs that are in the league. It's not even given that she can guard Dre'Ana. Like, and Dre'Ana is a small big. So Dre is the smallest big. And I don't even think Hannah could really bang with her. Like, no.
Salute to Hannah Gusters. But
she's very good. Hannah, you are very good in what you can do. And what you can do, you're very good.
That's positive.
You just cannot do what Aaliyah does.
But yeah. I don't know if she's hold on, let me look at 2022 first of all. 2022.
I don't even know a lot of people
in this class.
Well, I think we signed 2 people. South Carolina did.
Yeah, I got Watkins, who I reacted to, and then she's a junior.
Oh, that Cooper girl is a junior?
Yeah, Malaysia. That's a good class. Tele. No. You thinking about her, the Duncan girl? She be dunking, right? Yeah. She's only 6 foot. She a point guard. She be dunking, right? Am I tripping? Am I mixing her up with someone else?
The only person I know from SC that was dunking was what's her name? The girl that you like.
Ashlyn Watkins.
No, the one that's on the team now.
Oh, Bree Hall.
No.
Who? The big from Atlanta.
Oh,
Who? Like, Ami here.
Rivers.
Rivers. Oh, Sanaya Rivers.
I
Oh
think,
yeah, the goat. The
I think
goat.
she
Michael
can.
Jordan. Even though she ain't showing it yet.
But Don made a good point because Don did what Gino didn't do.
Yeah.
Don really just fessed up and said, the reason why she's not playing good is because of me. She finally just blatantly admitted I was coaching her wrong, which I like when coaches do that. Like I feel like coaching is like parenting. You can't coach everyone the same. And everyone likes to say like, well, that's just Gino's personality. No. Like, why are you making your players conform to you instead of you conforming to your players? Like, why is that? Like, why can't you can coach, have like a foundation of how you coach everyone. But I think to a certain point, when you do that one-on-one stuff, which that's what Don was like, I just realized I just have to put her out there in the game. Like, that's the best way for her to learn. Because I guess she kept saying it subliminally that like she wasn't catching it in practice. Like, you're not getting it, you learning too slow. But when she just started throwing her in the game and just letting her basically learn from experience, she felt that's what she learned more. Which, I mean, I don't know. Gino sort of took a page out that book because he just threw Carolyn in there. And
Oh. I mean, but he was forced to.
he still
He
took
was,
it.
yeah, he was forced to at that point.
Not literally, but
Salute to Jenna Isai, and then Amaya Battle over here for Hopkins. Hopkins, dude, their whole starting five.
From Hopkins was going to Arizona.
This is a whole nother girl. This is a point guard. They're so stacked because the girl right here is the girl you think about,
okay.
the girl with the brother on the Nuggets.
Oh, okay.
Maya Najee. This joker is number 9. She going to Arizona, and then they got a point guard, and then they have Paige, and then they have another kid. I think her senior year lineup was ridiculous. I think all 5 of them going D1. But who else we got up here? But yeah. KK Bransford. I know Tommy is a big fan of her. Jenna Isai going to Oregon. I already shouted her out. And yeah, those are a couple of there's KK. She's going to Notre Dame. Notre Dame building up a nice program again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you guys got Ashton.
Maryland didn't get anyone in the top 20.
Yeah, I do not see Maryland's name here.
She needs some help since her big girl said that she's not a big girl.
Who?
Oh, Angel Reese came
Angel. Oh, Angel, because
I'm a big guard.
Ah!
Play a 5, but okay, baby girl. Play a 5.
Well, she thought she was Diamond Miller. You ain't Diamond. You ain't got it like that. You're not Kobe. They don't love you like that.
What got me, I knew what she was talking was right. She do think she a guard because when she tried to do that clear out on B and then airballed it.
But I heard she was giving y'all work though. I ain't gonna lie. I heard she was giving y'all work.
For a little bit. Hold on. Let's clear this up. For the record. She was giving buckets. And it was one play. She had like Aaliyah had went up and she blocked it. And she said, get that bleep, 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 bleep. Because she talk a lot during the game. I've heard that on the I don't know if she knows there's a mic right there, but sis, we can hear you. After she did that, Aaliyah said, oh, it was over with after that. You talk a lot, which I feel like Angel Reese is like a DT, like a Sophie Cunningham. Like, you like her when she's on your team, but if she's not, she's really going to irritate you. And that's the point I'm at with her. I respect her game, but sometimes if you go to overtime, they just posted a video or where she was talking to a girl and she was like, who they just played, Ohio State. She was talking to the girl and she said something like, you're not built like that. You're not cut like that. Blah, blah, blah. Baby girl, y'all lost.
Mm-mm.
Y'all lost.
Still gonna talk. Still gonna pop off.
But I feel like to a certain extent, you got to know when to like.
I know what you're saying, but as a talker myself, like, if I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna talk.
Especially when you got washed by Michigan the game before.
Uh-oh.
Like, but I understand you gotta hype yourself up in the game, but it sort of bites you when you do the talking in the game and then you lose.
Yeah, you lose, yeah. Because then everybody talking to you after the game, and you just gotta eat it.
I mean, I see Adia went in here and she done got her a couple people because she definitely needs a big.
Where we at?
You see a little couple Arizonas up and down here within the like top 25-ish.
They had and they got the Nuggets sister, and then the Brisha Poe going to Mississippi State.
I definitely
Bree Poe.
don't see Kentucky in here like they need to be because if y'all losing Ryan, scholarship money.
They were. I was about to say they bad anyway already.
Like,
here's Kentucky right here.
Look. Okay, I guess
Maryland
rankings
at
don't
60.
matter. Rankings don't really matter. But Kyra should have been in here. Like, you knew you were losing Ryan. Ryan told you when she was leaving. She told the whole world that she was leaving after her senior year. Yeah. Man, but then again, we don't know what happens when people are offered and they have multiple offers and they just turn the school down.
You gotta recruit.
She could have went in that transfer portal like everybody else did. Because did they even bring anyone back? They didn't even bring no new people. Kentucky.
Oh, no, they didn't. No.
Like, no one.
It was the same folks. It was like Iowa.
Lost Blair. Now you're down Robin. And Dre is out. Y'all just played with 7 people. 7. Miss Man.
Gave him that word.
And everybody else's team has 18 people on the bench and then 2 people behind the bench with jumpsuits on. And you got 7. Kyra ain't starting out so well. She's not.
I heard Kiki Rice was pretty good too.
I seen a little bit of her.
I haven't watched Patterson, but people have been asking me to watch her. I think that's why I've been waiting, because I want to watch on camera.
Is Brady supposed to replace
who?
Liv?
Nah, that's the girl who's already there. Who's the girl? The freshman.
Barry?
Yeah, the Barry.
She should already. We're not gonna talk about that.
She nice. She nice.
No, what I'm saying, I wanted to see more of her. Like, we see, I don't know, people say all the time what goes on in practice determines what, but we don't care about all that. We want to see these people. And every time she plays, I feel like he never leaves her in long enough for her
to make an impact.
Yeah, like he puts her in and then he's like, okay, you're out. I wanted to see more of her. Because with Liv gone, Dorka, isn't she only there this year?
She's a grad transfer, but with COVID kind of confused everything, because like everybody's getting an extra year. So I don't know if she has another year or what.
Extra year on top of your time, or was this the extra year? So let's say if you didn't use this year,
hold on, let me
you're a sophomore. Once you graduate in 2024, can you use your COVID year then? Or is it just this year?
Let me see. She has 2 years, 2 years of eligibility remaining. Bonus COVID year.
So even then, okay, UConn's roster next year. I'm gonna step into my Joel's shoes. You're losing Avina, not to the first round though. And you're losing Kristen, not to the first round though. You lose 2 guards. Who's the new? Well, I guess anybody could be a Kristen.
You got Nika, Paige, Caroline.
Okay, well then that's a lot better than what Kristen was giving you.
So you got Paige, AZ, Caroline, old girl that you like, Aaliyah Edwards.
Oh, Aaliyah. But who's your
and then
5?
The Berry.
You don't. How
well, probably Dorka.
But even when she plays, is she even really playing a 4?
Yeah, she's playing more 4.
His roster still seems a little small because DeBerry looked like she may be all of 6'4".
DeBerry's nice.
So he doesn't have necessarily size replacing Liv. But
well, Liv was only like what, 6'5"?
Liv seems tall.
Let me see. Liv might. She might.
I honestly didn't know that Saxon was shorter than Boston. That blew my mind.
How tall?
I think Aaliyah's like 6'4".
6'5". Yeah. I thought so. 6'5".
And Aaliyah's giving you 6'3".
Yeah. Let me see. Dang, I spelled Aaliyah's name all the way wrong. 6'3".
I don't know. I think UConn will be better without Liv.
All right, y'all. It's been a great time. It's been a great time, man. Angel's first time on the channel. Angel's first time on. Angel, we appreciate it so much. You got to come back. Angel, shout out your socials where people can find you if they want to find you.
Y'all see me in the comments. That's my social for everything.
Oh, do you want to address this thing? Did you want to address that on camera, or is it too late?
Girl.
If she watches this far, like that means like, I don't know, she respects you a lot. If she watched this far into it.
Ain't no way she watched it this far.
Well,
I don't even know what she said.
Well, I'll pull it up.
What she say?
I pulled it up. Look on the screen.
Oh, this whole thesis that she wrote. Wait, I can't see that. This whole thesis.
All right, let me see if I can go. Is it a little better now, or is it still like?
Okay, this was addressing his comment with Muffin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Muffin. Miss Ma'am, what's your name? From the Birch. What I was saying, because she was basically saying that Gino only addressed the situation because he was asked. But people like to say, you know, Gino's Gino and UConn is UConn, which means he can speak whenever. He can speak however. I just felt like you can put it like this. Let's sum this all up. I feel like if you don't address the big elephant in the room, it's because this elephant benefits you greater than anything, which is the whole bias, the UConn bias. From as far as I followed, he's never said anything about it. And it's very apparent because people talk about it every single off-season, in-season tournament. Everyone always says that there's bias. He's never said anything about it. He's never said we don't have bias. We do. He's never said anything. So I feel like what Joel was saying, Gino didn't address Candace because what Candace said was right. Okay, so is he not addressing the bias because it's right? If you really don't think there's no bias when it comes to you, your program, whatever, your influence in the basketball community and world and decisions and Olympic roster and all of this, if it does not benefit you and there's no bias, why not just come out and say that? Because if somebody kept basically, I wouldn't necessarily say defaming his character, but if people kept pinning these things on you that weren't true for, at this point, decades, why not just say there is no bias? Every time somebody brings it up, why not just say there's no bias? I feel like you picked and choose when he wanted to say something because of a multitude of reasons. He can talk to Muffet that way. Miss Ma'ams can't talk to Dawn that way. And he can't talk to Candace that way. That response wouldn't have went over well. And I think also what she was saying was, well, why didn't Dawn just come out and say UConn? Why did she just make it a vague statement? I think everyone knows Dawn. And I think she said this before, but when you look like me and you look like Dawn and you look like you have to say things a certain way so that
roll the 2K up.
Like, you have to say it a certain way, because if you don't say it a certain way, then people will take it out of context and they'd be like, oh, and they say all this thing. So if you don't look like me, then you wouldn't understand what I'm saying. That's why she didn't come out and say Paige in that, what was it, the beginning?
Oh, you talking about the beginning of the season when she was spelling lows. Yeah.
Everybody caught it. So you caught what she was saying about Paige. You caught what she was saying about UConn, and she didn't say it. Now, if she would have came out and said UConn and Paige, y'all would have been like, oh, this is a grown woman tearing down this girl.
Coach Barnes.
So exactly.
Okay. The thing I will say this because I didn't address this on the channel just when I won't making video. I will say this. One thing that people were upset about is the fact that for the second time in one calendar year, you flipping the bird on the court with the little kids still in the stands. That's what the people are really mad about, more so than you yelling at your players on the sideline, you doing this and that. Because that's what all coaches do. All coaches yell at their players and cuss at their players in the locker room and stuff. That's what they do. But you flipping the bird, that verbal thing, because a kid in the stands midway, they can't hear you cussing at the players, but they can see you flipping that bird. You know what I'm saying? And you did it twice. So I'm looking at that like there's no other coach, because I was talking to my boy about this. He said, oh no, your male ego coming out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, because what male coach is flipping off folks on the field, on the court multiple times? You know, you don't see that with no other coach. And think about it right now in 2022, 2021, which coach has flipped off their opponents twice on the field or on the court in competition?
None.
Exactly. So that's what people are more upset about, more so than, but her point still stands of all the other stuff of when black folks say something, it's the angry black woman, it's the angry black man, it's the unhinged black man, whatever the heck they want to throw on us. But yeah, continue if you had anything.
But I also want to, since you went there, I'm going to take it a little bit further.
Go ahead.
You said no other coach has done it. Okay, cool. Do I think it's acceptable? No, but in the same light, be true to yourself. When she did it the first time, all her former teammates came out, Sue Bird, everybody was like, that's a Dia. That's her. Like, that's her personality. So let's go a little further. So when DT does it, how come nobody says anything? Because she spit on the floor.
Yeah.
And little kids saw that.
DT get away with a lot. DT is
pushed the ref.
Epitome of white privilege. Go ahead.
She pushed a ref, and she said, well, I just wanted to get people off of Sophie. So you didn't see the shirt that they specifically make so that you can identify who she is. You didn't see those stripes. And you, as she said, I was just pushing people off her. So you didn't see the stripes. You didn't see them. Nobody said nothing about that. It wouldn't have been addressed unless Twitter did what Twitter did. When she did the door. When she did the door. What was her response? There's a lot of doors. You know what door they're talking about. So that goes back to what Adia said. And I'm not even going to say even the whole race thing, because I think it's very clear that DT has carved a lane of her own of where she can get away with a lot of things. At this point, I don't even think it has to do with diving like fight. I think it's just her at this point. But it's like, you can't pick and choose who you hold to that standard, because DT's the GOAT. So shouldn't the GOAT, like if Adia's a coach, she's a coach. So you're supposed to hold her at a higher standard than other people. Then why aren't you holding your GOAT at a higher standard than the other players? What's the difference?
LeBron wouldn't be able to do that.
He got tore down for his little Rattler house comment, whatever, the little shooty pow boy. People got mad
for everything.
So it's like, she's right. Not even in the aspect of race and all that. You pick and choose who you hold to this standard. And I hate when people say, well, it's just DT. She just has emotion. She's just playing. You just spit on the floor. How much emotion? Like, I can understand punching the door, because I will give it to her. She did that in a closed setting. Like, she did that with her team, closed setting. But from what was told, she spit on the floor, like what, during the game, during the timeout? Like, she spit on the floor. She spit on the
And what happens when old girl from Notre Dame on Dallas now, the shooter, Enrique? What happened when Enrique spilled the little drink on the floor? That was a whole thing for about the next week, wasn't it?
I mean, we can go further than that. When BG punched that girl like in college. Oh my God, it made ESPN.
No, they paint. No, they do. BG gets painted the worst picture.
Horribly.
You know, you said painted with the ED, like to this day, BG gets painted like a beast. You know what I'm saying?
And she's not, I will say, my freshman year in high school, we played her team for the state championship. She's not, when people truly say that's not her, that's not her. But when you're, what is she like, 6'7", 6'8", and you are constantly getting like when I really paid attention this year. I really paid attention to where she kept saying like, I get beat up. Like I get beat up. She do. I would have, stopped a person or two because she gets no calls. Liz, no calls. So I understand where her frustrations come from. So it's like when people that look like me step out of character and do things that are inappropriate, I don't understand why it makes the front page. I don't.
Especially you.
I don't.
Versus a BG versus a Coach Barnes, if you know what I mean. Versus a Don, if you know what I mean.
I don't understand why it makes front page. Because when DT did it, everyone was saying, it's just a game, it's emotions. Okay. Adia, it's just games, it's just emotions.
Tom Brady versus Odell Beckham.
It's just games, it's just emotions.
It's all good though.
If that's going to be your stance, make it the stance across the board.
But it is my stance for coaches.
No, I mean like for like
everybody
purpose. Like just make that, hold that standard for everyone. Because if Kelly was really saying what he was saying, that's wild. That's wild. Like not even to call a Black woman out her name. I'm sorry, I'm Black. I'm gonna say that. But like just to call a woman and you're a man, like to stoop that low. I'm sorry, that could be like gender bias. Because I think Gino stepped way out his lane. Like this is a woman.
Gino is out of pocket. I ain't gonna lie. I know people said, "Oh, she came in him first," but you don't do no woman like don't nobody listen to you, woman. Go back in the kitchen, like you know what I'm saying. Like that's a tone that be coming out his mouth sometimes, bro. And I'd be like, bro, you gotta chill, bro. Like for real, like. But that's how I feel. And maybe I'm overreacting, but that's how I be. Go ahead.
I also feel like it's how you're raised too. You could be raised in a culture where you just respect women across the board. Even though I think sometimes, I will say, sometimes, it's okay to step out your lane a little bit and address a woman accordingly. But the way he addresses them, sir, and I get it, is he really in a woman-dominant field? I guess you could say. I just feel like he stepped out of pocket a lot. But he knows who to step out of pocket with. He doesn't do it to everyone. Like he really doesn't. He doesn't do it to everyone because you're not telling me that he wouldn't like.
Don't nobody listen to Candace anyway. She's irrelevant. Next question.
But it's crazy because everyone tuned into what she said that time.
Big facts.
I don't know. But I will say, Miss Birch, you know what I was talking about. Like you knew what I was talking about. Like he addresses what he wants to address and he addresses who he wants to address. Because I think UConn has like a whole YouTube channel where he does like these like hour-long pressers. Like at any moment he can address anything that he wants. Like people like to say, he's created this whole dynasty. Okay, well, if he created this dynasty and stuff, he can speak whenever he wants to. He can speak. He just doesn't because he knows who to address and he knows certain things. He knows because why is UConn in the top 10? Let's address that. Why are they like, no shade to Joel, but I mean, Joel told y'all he wasn't coming back till UConn got they stuff together. So with Joel saying that, that's Joel. To me, I took that as Joel wants to know why they're in the top 10 too. Because why? Like, why are they in the top 10? That's bias. Like, that's bias. Like, they should not be in the top 10.
Well, I mean, you also look at like circumstances. It's like when they lost those games and what.
No. Let's go back to it.
Go ahead.
You saw they started moving up during their little COVID pause.
Yeah, that was.
Conveniently, you move up when you're paused.
All right.
That also goes into the notion. I don't think anyone else has benefited like UConn has to a pause. No, let's not be biased. Arizona benefited in the they never fell. I think they stayed where they were. They never fell, but they never rose either. So, but I think that pause, orchestrated or not, who knows? It helped them more than it hurt them, because when they kept playing, they kept falling. But when they paused, they rose.
So it was the COVID, the positive conspiracies. Aaron Rodgers.
They don't need to be in the top 10. That's no shade to them, but I don't think they're top 10 worthy. If you look at them compared to everyone else, their wins, they've had like 2 ranked wins. 2. Like 2. I think it was like USCF and somebody else. That's not, look at who everybody else was playing, who everyone else has beat in the top 10. There's something that doesn't match, and it looks like UConn.
Well, Anjel, everybody, like she said, she'll be in the comments if you want to talk to her, if you want to address anything she said. Anjel, anything else before we get out of here?
Y'all don't eat me up in them comments.
Ah! Y'all give it up for Anjel, man. She's been on here for about 6-7 months, probably. Well,
probably since like Joel came on, I think.
Joel came on April, like he came on right after they got eliminated. I don't even remember. That might have been April or May. So I know since June. So, but anyways, 6+7+ months. She finally hopped on. So y'all give it up just for jumping on, get into the cage with the hyenas. And then we'll see if she'll return, because some people, they get on, they see that comment section, and then I no longer hear from them for the rest of eternity.
Them comments can't hurt me.
Well, you heard it from her yourself.
Y'all can say anything in them comments. I don't care. I don't care.
But that's all I got. Rose, all that good stuff, man. I'm BJ.